How's it going? So if you don't know, Akai Professional has a 50% off deal on expansion packs. This is good till the end of the month. Now they do have this deal periodically. So if you're watching this video later than February, just check back with Akai every now and again. So the process to do this was quite simple. You just select the one you want, download it. And then after you download it, install it on your computer, you just go ahead and use the MPC software, transfer it on to your memory card. And in this case, I'm loading it into my Akai Force. It works exactly the same on the Force and the MPC Live standalone or the MPC X standalone. All right, so the expansion pack that I went ahead and bought was raw crates. So if I go to load and go over here to my expansions, all right, you can see I have my other expansion packs from the MPC on here. And if I go to, all right, here it is, raw crates. So I tap on that. That's going to give me everything inside of there. All right, so apparently there's a few kits in here. You can see right there, if I tap that, it shows me all the different kits that are in here. It looks like there are actually drum kits, and they're actually kicks, hats, basses, stabs, sound effects, different things like that. And at the bottom, there's actually loops and stems down here. So I got some loops. So a few loops in there. All right, so there's a few loops in there, and it looks like they're all 82 BPM. And right here, there are some stems. And there's a few folders with stems in it. There you go. 82. Looks like they're all 82 BPM. All right, so this is a completely blank project. There are no tracks loaded. So if I go to Matrix here, you can see there's absolutely no tracks loaded. So I'm going to set the tempo. I want to set it to 82. So I go in here, I can go ahead and push 82. And to set the tempo, I just push shift and then tap tempo, and it brought up the tempo there. So now I set it to 82. So if I decide to load any loops or anything like that, it'll be on the same BPM, okay? And I can always change this later. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and load my drum track. So that's going to be a drum program. I'm going to go to load, to my expansions, and then over here, right there is raw crates. All right, so here's the expansion pack. What I can do is you can see all the different WAV files show up. If I tap right there, the 4 boxes, that's going to show me all the kits. So what I could do is just pick one of these kits. I'm just going to pick this one. So if I push load, you saw that right there. If I push load, it's going to load it up. So now if I go ahead and go over to my notes mode, I can play that. So if you look. All right, so there's a few sounds on there that we could play with. So you got the drum kit and then, a few sounds. All right, so the next thing I want to do is hold down the number 2 here. That's going to create a new track for me. I'm going to pick an audio track. All right, so the reason why I'm doing this because I'm actually really curious, because if you look, we got loops and stems. So if you go in these folders, push the waveform, we got different loops. Now I can load any of these loops up. It looks like they're all 82 BPM. So what I'm going to do is just pick one to load up. Something like that. All right, so that should be loaded in the pool. So if I go to my clip, boom, right there. So if I go to launch, you can see that that clip loaded up. So if I tap that, it should actually play that clip. I'm assuming everything's going to be in time because it's a 4-bar loop and it's at 82 BPM. My project's on 82 BPM. If I go to my regions and launch that clip, looks like the snare's hitting right on beat. All right, what I will do in case I decide to change the tempo later is go ahead and select that, and I'll push warp, and then I will change the BPM to 82. Do it. All right, so now in the future, whenever I change the tempo of the whole project, this waveform should follow suit. All right. So now I have this snare and this hi-hat. I could kind of play to that and kind of drum out a drum beat. So let me go ahead and pick my drum track. All right, I'll create a 4-bar loop. If I put this into note or step sequencer mode, I could program a drum beat. I want to do step sequencer mode. Now, just because I'm in step sequencer mode doesn't mean I have to use a step sequencer. I can actually play out the drum parts and record it as well. All right, so check this out. If I push launch, I got at least a tempo, something to work with. See what I'm saying? Now I could tap out a drum beat, whatever I want, and go ahead and record that in there. Now I probably am going to keep the snare consistent for the most part. Okay. So I'll just tap those in the sequencer again here. So it should be perfectly in time. So now I could tap out a drum kit. I'm going to go ahead and arm my track here. And if I go back to the matrix here, or if I push launch and notes, I could go into this mode right here. So what I could do is go ahead and push record. You can see that armed. All right, so now I'm going to add another kick in there. Listen to it. I want to add another hi-hat in there. All right, so let me go ahead, come back here. Which one to choose? Let's start with this one. Maybe I'll put this one on here so I can compare. I don't know, maybe I'll leave it like that for now. So now I'm going to go ahead and move on to a key group. I'm going to add a key group. Boom. All right, so I got a key group in there. So now I need to load sounds into that key group. All right, so I could pick the sounds from the drum kit, or I could load a new one. I'm going to go ahead and try to load a new one. All right. Sounds like these are mostly drums. So I'm going to get out of this folder. I'm just going to go to the main folder. Just a quick tip. So whenever you're searching, you could tap in here. So say I wanted a vocal. Boom. It's going to load everything up that's titled vocal.
Oh, come on.
Or I could just search for something manually. So I'll go ahead and get out of there. And then just search through them. So I'll probably do some kind of stab. Something like that sounds good. Go ahead and load that up. All right, so in order to go ahead and load this into a key group, I could push shift, clip. It's going to take me to my key group. I can make this mono. Go to samples. Now I can load it up right here. It was called something right there. Stab, STB key. All right, cool. So now we got that sample loaded up into a key group. We can go ahead and play that with the pads now. In note mode, so I'm in note mode here. This is going to be the original note right here. Okay, and then I can play it. All right, so check it. I'll just go with something like that. All right, so I'll go ahead and arm that. And let me see. I can do this in launch note mode. I'll just go ahead and push shift down octave. Or up octave, I mean. All right. So that puts the root note right there. It's armed here. So as soon as I hit this empty clip, it's going to start recording. All right. And I have it set to a count in. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, there it is. Do some mixing. Drums a little high, bring that down. All right. I could also do things with that sample. So let me go ahead and go to the sample edit menu, sample edit. Then I'll go here, process, normalize. Now let's hear it. So let's go ahead and add something else. Let's add a bass line. Number 4. So I could do a key group or a drum program. I'm going to do drum program because I noticed there was a lot of basses on here. So I could go ahead and load up a few basses onto a drum program or, do things like that. So let me go ahead and go to load. All right. So if I tap on the magnifying glass, I can go to bass. So now whenever I go ahead and audition these, I'm just going to pick these first ones. All right. Looks like there's 4 or 5 right here, or 6. If I want to assign these samples to specific pads, what I can do is go to, note mode or step sequencer. If I pick this one, it should be A1. All right. So if I push load, it says loaded onto A1. So I could pick the next one and then tap the next pad, push load, loaded on pad A2. The next one, load, loaded on A3, next one, boom, loaded on the pad A04. So whenever I play this particular drum program, I got notes right there. I could add these other ones if I wanted. So 5 and 6. The first thing I want to do is go ahead and go to menu and then sample edit and then go ahead and find these basses. All right, I'm just going to normalize them for the sake of doing it to make it a little bit louder. Might not be necessary, but I don't want to make this video too long, and it's an easy way to get a little bit more volume. Then I'm going to go to shift clip, go to my master, and make these mono. Boom. All right, you can see here I changed the polyphony to mono. This way, whenever I tap a pad and I tap the next pad, the next pad is just going to cut it off. So now I could go ahead and tap out a bass line. So let's go ahead and listen to it for a second. All right, so basically just tap out a bass line, find a bass line, tap it out. Let's go ahead and work on it for a minute. I think I'm just going to go with that. So what I want to do is go ahead and arm this. Go to launch mode, arm it. So whenever I go ahead and boom, tap that empty clip, I can go ahead and start recording. Boom. I kind of do want to edit the sample a little bit, because the note takes a little second or like a half a second to kind of kick in. I just want to shorten the attack time basically. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and go to menu, sample edit. All right, so I'm using this one. So I'll just go ahead and pull the start time down, go to the pad, pull the start time. All right, do the same on this other pad. Same on this pad. Now let's listen to it. Nice. Go to my mixer for a second again. Let's adjust some of these levels a little bit. May insert an effect here. Maybe not that one, maybe a different one. Maybe sync delay. Let's try sync. Something like that. All right, maybe mess one of these air music technologies here. Maybe an enhancer. Little mid refresher right there. All right. Cool. Back to my mixer. Go to this drum track, maybe do something to this bass. come over to my kit, my hip hop kit, and insert. Let's go ahead and insert something on this one. Go ahead and go to Akai, PCA. I'll just use that preset there. Go to volume. All right, I think that's pretty much what I'm going to go with. All right. So what I'm going to do now is kind of mess with the tempo. So I'm going to push shift, tap tempo, play. Now I do think I want to change that hi-hat back. Let's go ahead and go back, select this first one here. Go ahead and go back to my step sequencer. I want to take all these out. Go back to this one. Now let's try it. Dope. Let me go back over to my outputs. I'll just put a maximizer on there, see what that sounds like. 1 and 2. And do. Go to the maximizer. Oh, let me get into the right effects here. Let me go ahead and get to my air effects. And maximizer. Select it. Go in here. And all right, no maximizer. Maximizer. All the sounds in here are from the MPC expansion pack raw crates, and then I'm using the air effects and some Akai effects to kind of give it a little bit of flavor. And you know, there you go. Basically that's 4 clips, so I could stop them all. Maybe I want to come in with just this. All right, so there you have it. There's a beat with the raw crates. So I'll go ahead and put this video in a playlist. So go ahead and click or tap the screen on the left. That's going to take you over to a playlist with more Akai Force videos. Go ahead and click and tap the screen on the right. That's going to take you to the newest video that I have out. My name is Matthew. Continue to create music, and we'll talk soon. Oh yeah, don't forget to save your work.